Hi and welcome back to Central Quest de la Luce and Live and Breathe Horses. So today we're going to do a little addition to our Reinback series. So when I do these little series, I always say at the end, we might have things to add on because, you know, life's a constant learning and we always, hopefully, always are exploring, finding new adventures and new ways. So this one is not so much of a new thing as you know, the thing that we most often do. So what we talked about in the Reinback series was very much on the line of my hero Buck, who says, you know, don't do it by touching in the horse's chest. Because, you see, he moved back very nicely there. Was that the intention of the touch? But yeah, you know, obviously if you're in there and the horse doesn't move, what are you going to do? You can't do it by force. If you prod, if he decides to run you over, it could be dangerous. But his other thing was, it doesn't relate to what you're going to do on top. So, you know, he said, what are you going to do when you're riding? Lean down and touch the chest? I don't think so. So when I was on the freedom-based training course with Elsa Sinclair a couple of months ago, we were talking about the Reinback, and she uses the touch on the chest. And of course we got talking to about what Buck was saying about it, and we all laughed because she said, that's exactly what I do when I get on, because of course she's not using any tools. So that would be her first ask, until the horse gets used to doing it from the body, would be to lean down and actually touch them on the chest. So I thought we would just do a little explore about that. Just to add on, just to add that in basically. I mean, we're just going to do that from the ground today. And also just to mention, I mean, it's really what works for you, what you like to do. If it works, it's fine, you know. It's just by using standard things that everybody knows, then obviously if somebody else was to take over with your horse, they would know how to communicate. You know, Miguel, who I used to work for, my teacher, he used to use a noise. So he used to say, "S, s, s, s," and they got used to that very quickly from the ground, and then you could do that on top, in a trailer, wherever. But of course, noises, you know, the horses don't use noises with each other. And then if everybody's making noises, it can all get rather confusing. So, yeah, I think we'll just have a little play with that with some different horses and see what happens. You know, obviously when you're doing it with the horse completely free, then he has the option to go away if he doesn't accept that touch. So that's also a lovely way to explore with it. If we're doing it with a halter, then we have the option to shut the other doors. So we can block the front door, block the side doors, and then the back is the only option. So then I can go in with a touch. You know, he's quite used to that, as you can see. So it's just even my energy up there, which however you do it is always going to be the first ask. You know, it's having clear what you want, visualizing that. It's your energy, your intention, the direction of your energy, where you want it to go. So yeah, let's have a little play and see how we get on. So we're just going to start with a very soft touch on the chest. Just always starting with the minimum. And there I'm just adjusting my body language, just to add a little bit more energy into that as well. Make sure that's working. You know, like I said, that's the first ask. So this time I'm just checking that my he's listening to my energy, using more of a powerful body language to get him to back up. And then the hand touch is more effective, just with that behind it to help reinforce it. So let's take the halter off and see how we get on without the halter. So just have a little pause, just take a moment to get grounded, take a nice deep breath. Just being present in the moment. We'll just go in again with a very soft touch, giving direction to the energy. Got a nice little step there. Look, and there he's preparing to back before I even touched him. We'll just try a little bit again from the other side. Have a little break first. That's it. So you can always explore the place to where to touch. And always plenty breaks in between. You know, the pauses are always just as important or more important than the work. There's Umo having a nice little release with his jaw, so that's a good sign. So important to always watch the horse's expression and just see how he's feeling about anything, you know, and that's the timing, the feel and timing of when to ask and when to release by what the horse is saying is always so important. So we're just prepared to do another one, just making a little connection. And then just coming in again with a light touch on the chest. He shifts his weight back nicely. And we can just take another pause there. Got another nice release and stretch with the jaw. It's always a moment just to do the same on yourself, you know, relax your jaw, take a breath. So I thought we'd just have a play with that with some different horses. So we've got Galileo here. So the previous ways we've talked about to back up was first of all from a bit further away in the front, just using our energy and our posture. So first I'm going to just visualize what I want, make sure I direct my energy, raise my posture, make sure my horse is paying attention a little bit. I can ask him to look at me. Hello. And then just see, is that enough to get a reaction? If not, I start to make a bit of movement. Oh, and he didn't get that at all. So I can block the side doors. He thought, there we go. And as soon as we get a little suggestion of movement before the feet move, I was late there, we can just stop. So we can try that again. Let's come in here. See he keeps straight. Put a little bit of energy in. Getting distracted by the other horse. And quit even before he moves the foot. And then as we go asking for more feet, it's only Bobby. You know, we can quit and then time up 1, 2, and keep asking, you know. So it's always to give those little mini releases in between. And of course in the beginning, just even a suggestion of movement's enough. So the other way we talked about was from the halter. So coming in closer, holding the halter here, and just a very little movement. And again, as soon as you get the slightest reaction, to release. I'm going to put my horse a bit more straight this time. And then we just ask very gently, release, and then we can time up with the feet. Always coming back to how little can we do, how little can we do, which hopefully gets to just being as little as a thought. So let's try with him what we've been talking about today, which was a touch on the chest. I mean, a lot of people do that with 2 fingers, like that. But like I said, you know, whatever works, it's fine. So my neighbours are just doing something. He's a bit distracted. So now wouldn't be a very fair moment to ask. Okay, hello. So now's a better moment to ask. He's a bit more here with me. So I'm just going to keep my rope very loose, come in with my hand, put my intention there, my energy there, and I'm going to give a very gentle touch there. So we got a bit of reaction from that. So for me, my instinct is to touch and immediately put a bit of vibration, a little bit of rhythmic movement into the touch. So let's just try that again. Got a bit distracted again. Okay. So let's just see what happens if we try that without the halter. You know, then of course the horse has more options if we take the halter off. So I'm just going to swing his head a little bit towards me to send the hindquarters the other direction, just because Umo's standing there, and Umo's very much the boss over Galileo, so it would not be very fair to ask him to back up towards the horse he feels threatened by, you know. So this is very important to take into account where you're asking the horse to go. Make sure it's into a place where he's comfortable with, make it easy for him to do the right thing. So we're just trying with a very gentle little touch. As soon as we get a suggestion of a movement, we can quit. Umo was giving him the evil eye there, so I'm just going to go over. Let's just back him up a step as well. Keep him out of the way. And Galileo, of course, will thank me for that. That's some relationship points for me for sticking up for his cause. So I'm just coming in this time with a bit of energy, body language. Didn't quite get the reaction I wanted, so I'm just straightening him up, coming in with the hand on the chest. Got a few nice steps there, and just taking a nice pause. And he had a lovely breath out there, and then a nice relaxation of the jaw. So it's just to always listen to the horse, be aware. And when they're having such a nice release and getting it and relaxing, it's definitely a moment just to take a pause and enjoy that moment ourselves, you know, just to be grounded, come back to your breath, clear your mind, just feel your body, get into that zone where the horse is. And it's so much easier to connect when we're just present and still and keeping life simple, you know, not going through everything too much in our heads and wondering and getting too mental about it all, intellectual about it all, better said. So he's having lots of nice releases, and then I got distracted by something under his chin. You know, he does tend to stretch his jaw a lot. If this was a horse that was more stressed and this was all new, I would have quit as soon as they started doing that. But because for him, this is quite a normal thing that he has these nice releases, it's not necessarily to quit on that, you know. I'm just waiting for a really nice, big, long breath, which we got there at the end. We're going to have a little look with Muñeco now. Actually, you see, they come in for breakfast because Muñeco needs lots of extra food. So everybody comes in to have breakfast, and I'm just turning them out one at a time and having a little go with each one as they come out. So let's see what Muñeco thinks about it. What do you think, Muñeco? What happens if we push in here? Let's have a look. Okay. He says, I know that one, apparently. Yes, good boy. Let's try that again. Oh, good boy. Good boy, Muñeco. Because we were trying with him down in the big to-do from here, and he didn't really know that one at all. But look, now we've got a much better there, and we can get nice and light. Good boy. Despite being distracted by Mr. Umo there. Hey, Mr. Umo. Hey, Mr. Umo. Don't distract my pony. Good boy. Oh, he's such a good boy. He's been very nice and cooperative today. There you go. Who says you can't teach an old horse new tricks? And here's a nice little lick and chew there, if you can see that. There we go. Good boy. Good boy, Muñeco. So, I don't know if we're in shot here, but we're going to try a little bit without the halter. Hopefully Mr. Umo won't distract us too much. Good boy, Goity. Good boy. Right, let's see. Good boy. I was just going to say, of course, we've got the wall there, but look, he immediately turns around and walks off. So we've not got that working too well. And last but not least, we've got the boss man, Mr. Morisco. How's your backup, Morisco? I guess backup's pretty good. It should be pretty good. Let's see, dirty eye to start with. Okay, so a bit of intention and energy, and that's enough to have a little start. Good boy. Make sure his attention's a bit more on me. Dirty eye. Good boy. So, intention, energy, direct the energy. And quit as soon as I get a bit. You see, I was late again. His foot had already moved. Let's do another one. Energy. Oh, he's getting distracted. The other horses are coming around the corner. Come on. Good. That's it. So there, he leaned his body back. I'm going to quit on that, and we can try again. Keep asking, a few more steps. There. So as soon as that's not enough, we can start a little bit rhythmically with the hands. So the other thing we can, the other thing we can develop from that is back and across, which is a lovely exercise. So let's just do a little bit of that. Just get us a bit more in shot. So we're going to start with backing up, and then we're going to ask the front to go across. so that he takes his weight back, and once the weight's shifted back, he moves the front end across. So that's a good gymnastic exercise. You know, it's about balance, preparing self-carriage, and yes, the most important thing, of course, the timing. So as I'm backing, if I'm on this side, I'll be timing up with this foot. So when that foot is on the ground, the other foot can open out, can't it? So if he's backing up like this is his feet. When this one's on the ground, then we can ask that one to open out to the side. So let's have a go, how we get on. So we're just going to gently ask for some steps back with the energy and direction towards the back. Then turn to face the horse and just gently ask for the front to take a step across. I mean, in the beginning, of course, just asking for the head, then the head and neck, then the shoulder, then with the foot. Just building it up little by little, one step at a time. And I'm just using little vibrating movements in front of the eye. You can also touch them in the cheek. It's just to get creative. Explore what works for you. You know, back to backing a few steps back, and then a few steps across. And the horse starts learning to balance himself more, shift his weight back. And we'll try a little bit on the other side. So again, back, back, back. Time up with that foot. Turn to face the other way and walk through the front end. Let's just try a bit from in on the chest as well. See, he knows it very well from the body language, so I hardly need to touch. And of course he's in that frame of mind because we've just been doing it. Biscuit, you're looking a bit distracted. The other horses are just wandering around there at the gate. I don't know if they're in shot or not. He's thinking, where are they going? You keep an eye on your herd, haven't you, Biscuit? Yes, very important. Should we just do one more? Yeah. Prepare. Good boy. So that's very nice and soft. So I would say when you go to touch, you know, imagine first you're even just pushing the air, just touching the air, and then you're going to touch the hair, and then you're going to touch the air and the hair and the skin. And if you really have to, you can get in and touch the muscle, you know. And at that point, when you have to put a bit more pressure, will be the point to make it into a vibrating touch, you know, with the same amount of pressure, but just put a bit of rhythmic vibration behind it. Lovely, so we'll just have a very gentle touch in there. He's very, of course, we're well prepared because we've just been working on this. You know, that's making it easy for the horse to do the right thing. Taking a little pause when we get a good reaction, you know, not being in a hurry. These little breaks are just so valuable. And then we can come in again. How soft can we touch and get a response? And then once we get one step, we can go asking for a few more steps. Timing up with the feet. Again, having a pause. Look, he's looking at me. What are you doing? Look at those ears twitching around. There's a lot going on in his mind there. So that was very nice. And I just thought, oh, let's just finish for the day. That was such a good moment. And then for some reason on the way to the gate, I thought, well, actually, let's just try another few steps. Because I remembered we hadn't tried back and across without the halter. So I thought I would just give that a try and see how it went. So we're just coming back in again. Can't actually see me now, but there we go. A few steps back. Again, just gently change the posture. And time up with the feet. Feel and timing. Ask the front legs to come around. And there we got a few nice steps. So I was quite happy with that. He's just relaxing his back leg. So that's it from us today, finishing with a nice kiss from Morisco. Thank you very much for joining me. Keep tuning into the light and we'll see you next time.